Our next maths topic is all about ratio. There are different ways of expressing ratios, and we're just going to look to start with some of the different ways that we can talk about ratio. So here we've got 3 yellow circles and 1 red circle, and one of the ways of expressing that ratio would be to say there are 3 times more yellow circles than red circles, because 3 is 1 times 3. We could also look and compare the amount of circles and say for every so many red circles there are so many yellow circles, and in this ratio for every 1 red circle there are 3 yellow circles. And we can also express it as a fraction and say there are something the amount of red circles compared to yellow circles. So for this example, there are 1/3 the amount of red circles compared to yellow circles. So for this ratio, we can say there are 3 times more yellow circles than red circles. For every 1 red circle, there are 3 yellow circles. And there are 1/3 the amount of red circles compared to yellow circles. We can also think about all the circles together. So altogether, we have 4 circles, and in every 4 circles, 1 are red and 3 are yellow. So that's another way of expressing the ratio, by looking at the whole amount of circles and saying in every 4 circles, because we have 4 circles altogether, 1 is red and 3 are yellow. One of the times ratio is useful if you're doing something like a recipe, and so you might say things like you need 3 times as many cups of milk as you do cups of flour, or for every 1 cup of flour you need 3 cups of milk, or you need 1/3 of the amount of flour as you do the amount of milk. And then this can help us think about how to alter those amounts. So not just if we're dealing with this basic amount of 1 cup of flour, 3 cups of milk and 2 eggs, but if we wanted to increase the recipe. So let's say we wanted to make 3 times the amount of pancakes. We would know that instead of 1 cup of flour, we'd need 3 cups of flour. And because we want to keep the ratio the same, we're going to need to do the same to all the items in the recipe. So we're going to need 3 times 3, 9 cups of milk, and we're going to need 3 times 2, 6 eggs. So the ratio will always stay the same. We've still got 3 times as much milk as we have flour in both these separate recipes. We've still got double the number of eggs as we have cups of flour, just like here. And it works for any different amount of the ingredients. So let's say we looked in the fridge and we had 8 eggs. We'd know we needed to keep the ratio the same. So we'd look at our original ratio and think, well, the first recipe had 2 eggs. We've got 4 times as many, so we need to keep the ratio the same. So we're going to need 4 times as many cups of milk, so 3 times 4 is 12. And we're going to need 4 times as many cups of flour, so 1 times 4 is 4. So our new ratio is 4 cups of flour, 12 cups of milk, and 8 eggs. But the ratio of flour to milk to eggs will have stayed the same as it was in the original recipe. 3 times as many cups of milk as you had flour, and double the amount of eggs as you had cups of flour as well. So, for Monday, see if you can use what we've just talked about to solve these 2 problems.